Welcome, everybody, to week 4 of A Link to the Past League Season 2. We have ourselves a mystery seed match between WeightyWords of Team Pug Trio, who is currently 5-1, versus VirtuaCat of Third Strongest Mole, who are currently 0-6. We have an assured sword seed, we do not have Enemizer, and we do not know otherwise what we might have. But they're going to find out, we're going to find out, it'll be good. Looks like we've got ourselves a standard world state. And it looks like a pendant on Tower of Hera, 2 crystals otherwise, but we don't know which of those we're going to need. And so this could be as few as 3 crystals for access. And with Assured Sword, you don't get another weapon off of Uncle, so just 20 rupees there. Yep. The map having information there tells us that dungeon items are not shuffled, so we don't have a Key Sanity or one of the lighter forms of Key Sanity tonight. Weighty taking a bit of a lead through here. I know VirtuaCat is very happy to see a standard start. Had mentioned not being terribly comfortable with inverted and that he was probably going to forfeit if it came to that. Yeah, you're definitely not going to complain about getting some extra bombs there. They already had some for the back of escape, though. Nothing great out of the escape sequence so far. So far we haven't seen anything that would indicate one of the really nasty settings. Still possible that Ball Shuffle is on, or some kind of low percent fast cannon seed where you only need like 3 or 4 crystals to beat them. Ah, right. We didn't have Enemizer, so no Ball Shuffle either. Well, still could be a nice low percent style run, but none of the really fancy settings appear to be on. WeightyWords taking a lead going through escape, just little pieces of movement that are a little more optimized. It's kind of the advantage here. Yeah, I have to admit to chat, I don't really know too much about the combination of entrance randomizer plus standard. I'm not sure when we would learn that, if it would be going out of Sanctuary or later. But we do find the hook shot over in Dark Cross. So it looks like we're going to be heading out of Escape with hookshot, bombs, a sword, and enough money for the early game. Not too bad. Sub 6 Escape for WeightyWords. And cross your fingers, those hoping for an entrance shuffle. I have been informed it would be now we would learn about it. Nope, not today. Unless it rolled around to its vanilla, I guess that is technically possible. It's full magic off a tree pole. I'm guessing that was tier 2. Ooh, and the flute in the drop down in Lost Woods. Always nice to get that before going into Kakariko. To answer chat, the tournament weights, or the league weights rather, use locations only or all items. Or all locations are all items. I think all locations is like 20%. The weights are available off the league page. Plenty of early bombs, as the 10 bomb pack is found in, and then 3 more in the back. And Lady continuing through here in Kakariko. Not too much exciting here after that flute. Okay, the flippers, that's possibly required. We do not know the goal yet, so this could be fast cannon, defeat cannon, all dungeons, or master sword pedestal still, actually. It might not be any form of fighting Ganon at the end. VirtuaCat getting the well check out of the way as well. Bottle find is nice, lets you get the sick kid out of the way while you're here, but he just has 5 rupees for us today, so would have been fine skipping that. We won't necessarily know the difficulty for sure until we find something that eliminates it being expert or hard. I believe hard lets you have a second shield, but not a third one, so that would be 1 giveaway. I did not quite catch what that was on the library. I'll check on the restream here. No, it is the single arrow of destiny. Sure. And I'm not going to be worried about the race game today, just a piece of heart there. We do find our lamp in the dam. And let's see what was in the flooded spot here. Just 20 rupees. Weighty going to go ahead and pick that up. Is trending towards Zora money. Isn't, really in shooting distance yet. Weighty with a really nice bomb there to take out the 2 mini Moldorms on the left side. And Mini Moldorm Cave has our bow for us, as well as a whole lot more money and the mirror. That's a lot of items to have 12 minutes into the seed. No one place was all that loaded, but just decent stuff everywhere. Weighty now with the money to do Zora in here. It's not even out of logic. Has those flippers to actually get there instead of having to do the traditional fake flippers. Weighty's just going to have a lot of options where to go. VirtuaCat will as well. Is heading the same general direction, just a little bit behind. I'll be interested to see what Weighty decides to do. I'm guessing we might see Zora here, but Eastern, Hera, both clearable. Yeah, this looks like the Zora play. With the hookshot, East Death Mountain also accessible on the Light World side. We are still all the way away from Dark World access. VirtuaCat with some hookshot strats for Mini Moldorm Cave. And WeityWords taking the flute back from the hobo to get back over to the water portal. Saves a little bit of time there versus swimming back. Yeah, so really our goal is our biggest piece of unknown information at this point. And let's see what Zora's going to give us today. We already saw one of the green rupees, so very unlikely that it's the other. A Bombos, we might need that. Could be our Mire Turtle Rock access. Could also be our Ice Palace access if the Fire Rod is locked behind ice. And WeightyWords heading to the mountain. We'll see if that's what VirtuaCat decides to do, or if we get some divergence after this. This is really kind of the first point of making a choice. Everything else has been kind of standard so far. It does make a lot of sense, though. Between East Death Mountain and Tower of Hera, this is a very dense location for WeightyWords. But VirtuaCat might choose to do the eastern area first in hopes of maybe dodging one trip up the mountain. Ooh, and WeightyWords gets bullied in the worst room in the game, at least to me. The cabbage is actually killing him. And going straight to East Death Mountain first before Hera, which makes sense. There's a lot more items this way. And let's see what else in Paradox. These 7 chests can have quite a lot. Just some help from the lower level. And 20 rupees, I guess, for whatever that's worth. Some arrows, more money. More arrows, more money. That was not a good Paradox Cave. Let's see where VirtuaCat goes. Also going to the mountain. Does make sense, just Eastern is the only other high possibility. And a Master Sword sitting on the floating island. So that sword upgrade might be nice later. If we are on hard or expert, that might turn into, I think, just a green 20 rupee if they get to tempered or master, respectively, for hard and expert. So that would be a giveaway if they find other sword upgrades. And WeightyWords quitting back over to the west side, gonna head up to Hera. VirtuaCat heading there to start with. Kind of Burna sitting on top of Spectacle Rock. Not gonna object to that. Just a health upgrade within it. Probably not gonna bother with that. We have seen enough health at this point that I'm pretty sure this isn't expert. It could still be hard. What is that bunny sprite? Ice cream sundae? Um, Meanwhile, Turtle Rock and Pod are our remaining pendants, with Turtle Rock as a green pendant. 5-6 crystals are Skull Woods and Ice Palace. Kind of a friendlier Terra layout, especially for VirtuaCat, who had mentioned not being comfortable with Terrapot. WeightyWords is going to set up for it. And gets it. To answer chat, oh, and there's a fire rod. So far, the mystery seems to be how the person who rolled this seed could have rolled such a friendly one. It was a standard start, and we know it's not entrance or enemizer of any flavor. We do not know the goal, is kind of the main unknown. It could also still be hard or expert mode. I think we've seen enough help that it's not expert mode, or it's very unlikely. But could still be hard mode. It's Cat going for this pendant, which is interesting. We don't know the goal. It could be a all dungeons or pedestal seed. I think it's between those, something like 40% in the league weights. I would have to look back at the weights. Back of the old man's closet doesn't have very much, but they have quite a lot already, so there's not a ton to find. Just a quick glance, Master Sword Pedestal and Albans are both 20%. But 40% that this kill for VirtuaCat is required, which would be an advantage for him if it is. Required for that, the fire rod and cape in there is pretty nice. Oh no, and VirtuaCat taking a hit there. Meanwhile, WeightyWords going through Eastern. Looks like VirtuaCat's going to make another crack at getting over to East Death Mountain. East Death Mountain actually doesn't have very much, but it's so many checks that it's hard to blame VirtuaCat for heading back there. Let's see if WeightyWords pulls anything particular out of here. Worth mentioning, we're still at 0 of our Dark World access items, even with the inventory as lit up as it is. I mean, I guess Cape sort of counts. We started with the Assured Sword, but still would want Moon Pearl. It was a short sword. It started in inventory rather than on uncle. I guess technically it could be the actual like cape with nothing else into pyramid moon pearl seed, but that seems unlikely. Oh, and there's a glove, speaking of. Alright, let's see what Weighty finds the rest of the way, and VirtuaCat just doing. This has been a fairly linear seed so far. We'll see if it stays that way. And yeah, VirtuaCat just joining Weighty over in Eastern. There's Master Sword off of Armos Knights, so where do you want to go next, Weighty? That looks like Agina. I'm trying to think. This might be the last check before you have to go tower climbing. Well, I mean, you had to come here, but you're still going tower climbing. At least you have the Master Sword off of Armos Knights, and you don't have to do this with the Fighter Sword. The Fire Rod is also nice for making this climb a little faster. So, VirtuaCat is going to be following the same route, just a few minutes behind WeightyWords. And just going through the dark maze here in Aga Tower. A lot of pure, like, vanilla execution sorts of things going on in this seed so far. Between standard start with the sword and this. And, Weighty gets bullied by a guard there a little bit. VirtuaCat about to get their glove out of the vanilla big key chest in Eastern. And just going through these red guard rooms. On 2 health needs to be slightly careful, but there are some hearts in this next room to refill. WeightyWords doesn't need any stinking refills. He's not a scrub like myself. VirtuaCat just going through the false word dark room there. And we'll see if my standing guess of 15 blue balls comes true today, eventually. VirtuaCat getting a nice Armos kill there. Get away a little bit, but still good. Not today. Good. VirtuaCat is also going to get the Moon Pearl before doing the tower climb. It's definitely for the best. We'll be able to just read this sign and everything that's there. And let's see what we're doing today. All dungeons, huh? Okay. That is a little bit of an edge to VirtuaCat, who did clear out Tower of Hera. I don't think that's enough to close the gap between them completely, but it does make it a little closer. Weighty going for an early catfish check here, but it's really just he's got access to West Death Dark World. Well, there's a second shield, so that confirms it's not expert. Bear shield is available on hard, so it could still be hard or normal. We're going to see what Weighty does. Not going to go into Podge just yet. Instead, heading over towards the west side of Dark World. Okay, chat's telling me it looked like a shield, but it might not be picked up as a shield. That may just be something I'm incorrect about in my assumption. I thought it would look like 20 rupees. I know that swords do or have in the past. Just a heart piece up on bumper ledge. It's never something great when you actually have that cape. Weighty heading into Skullwoods. This is beatable. Got that fire rod out of the Tower of Hera already and has a sword since the beginning of the game. VirtuaCat heading into a pretty average Aga 1 fight in terms of meanness. This will be another opportunity for VirtuaCat to diverge a bit. Could head into Pod and if the hammer's hanging out there or something, could be a difference maker. And Weighty, not terribly surprisingly, gonna go on and do Mothula before doing the front parts of Skullwoods. If you find all the items, you can just leave. In total fairness, this Aga one is double required because it's also all dungeons, so you would have to kill him even if this wasn't the way to the Dark World. Which VirtuaCat will presumably find out moments after beating Aga 1. WeightyWords about to drop into this Moth fight. Master Sword is not too bad a version of this fight, but 6 hearts. I mean, if the spikes are mean, this could go wrong. Using a couple fire rod shots there, kept with both of them. And yes, VirtuaCat does find out that that pendant he has in hand is necessary. And Mothula just has the map and the crystal. So VirtuaCat is heading over towards Pod. This could actually be the sort of thing that VirtuaCat needs to get back into this. WeightyWords was, if they stayed on the same route, the execution gap there was just enough that I don't think VirtuaCat could have made up the time. But if the hammer's here, it could be enormous. I will laugh if this somehow ends up being an Aga 1 ped seed, but it doesn't really matter since it's all dungeons anyway. So the items in Skullwoods are complete garbage. It could be a time save for VirtuaCat if they don't go into Skullwoods until already in go mode. But that's not terribly likely unless we just get a ton of items right here in Pod. Hey, Vanilla Big Can Pod. While WeightyWords heading over towards Thieves Town and Village of Outcasts. VirtuaCat about to find, I believe, a couple of keys back here. Assuming I remember my pod key logic right, and there have to be 4 up front. Yeah, you're not going to be able to continue this way. You'll have to use that mirror to get back without the hammer. Still a lot of items in here, though. We found 2 of them, so another 3 await. Oh, and the Cane of Samaria in Thieves Town. Doesn't do anything really for us right away, but definitely going to need that for Mire and Turtle Rock. Pod coming up kind of dry so far. Another vanilla big key location over in Thieves Town. That's our 4th item in Pod. It may or may not be worth anything with the shovel. 1 more in here somewhere. Though there is a decent chance it's on Helmasaur. WeightyWords heading through Thieves. Yeah, I'm not totally sure. Well, that means he can quit out because the last item is either the map or the compass. But unfortunately, coming up a little dry there. Also, the hammer was in one of these dungeons. It just wasn't in the one where VirtuaCat was in. Oh, and Myths too, which you needed the hammer to get to. Well, I mean, that's kind of rude. And yeah, those are fully vanilla Myths to the chest and everything. Okay, so we're kind of running low on items that we need at this point. Whatever our medallions are to get in, Ice Rod, likely boots, slightly over 50% on boots between GT and Desert. Desert being exactly 50%, and GT being about 5%. All right, and WeightyWords is going to do the hammer pegs and smith chain right quick, looking for the last item. It's possible we are one item away. We just won't know until we see what our medallion requirements are. To answer chat, yeah, that rules out expert, but they have 8 hearts and they've left health behind, so that also ruled out expert. Yeah, the boots would also have to not be required, but you know, that's if we're already betting on the medallion requirement just being bombos across the board, why not go all out? Alright, and what are you gonna flute that chest over, looks like? Just a big 20. Red guard bullies Weighty off the duck. And we're going to get a hit cave check here. There's not a lot of hype left in this seed, though. Fairy in a bottle, like Ether, okay. And 2 safeties and a medallion. You know, if the medallion's necessary, that's pretty good. I'm not necessarily an expert in this chat. My understanding was that health is preset to be replaced by rupee, so there's less health in the pull period. But Maybe consult the randomizer documentation to be sure. Because with health, it specifically talks about pieces and containers in the pool and the docks. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could still be hard. I'm not totally sure, but we'll find out at some point. We haven't seen a mail upgrade, which is the quickest way to eliminate that. It has magic. I don't know. I think that might also eliminate it being hard. I'm not 100% sure with the current setup. We're going to get a Mire area check. You can also see what the entrance requirement is on Mire. It is Bombos. So I may just see Mire here with the cane in hook shot. But first, desert. Oh, and we are going to need our boots today, as the big key is on the torch. So we're definitely going to need boots, we're definitely going to need the ice rod, and we might need Quake if Turtle Rock is its vanilla requirement. Which we're going to find out about that requirement pretty soon here, as it looks like that's where WeightyWords is heading, along with the rest of Death Mountain. Yeah, VirtuaCat, a little bit of trouble here. Uses a blue potion to make sure to not take a Mothula death, and gets it right after. Let's see what we get here in terms of the requirement. This could eliminate Quake as needed and get us down to just 2 items for go mode for Weighty. Oh, but it is Quake, so we need 3 items. at Ether, that Hype Cave retroactively gets downgraded to a D- and just has the 2 bottles. So we know VirtuaCat needs to get into Thieves Town, but that probably is where they're heading. It's clearable other than that chest. Some runners do like to avoid going in there without the hammer. That's not going to be possible today. Oh, there's a tempered sword, so we might find out, although I doubt WeightyWords picks up butter. No. We'll have to pay attention if we walk past it. Okay, 6 crystals to get into GT. Doesn't really help, except that means the ice rod can be in there, or quake for that matter. Actually, it could have been anyway because it's Turtlewick's a pendant. So I guess it. Boots could be in there, right? So yeah, a hunt for boots could be interesting. Yeah, Ice Rod and Quake could be in there, but they could have been even if it had been 7 crystals to get in. I think all 3 actually could be GT because Turtle Rock is the green pendant, not a crystal. Yeah, so Weighty making the pod trip. We already know that none of the items that Weighty's looking for are in here, but we'll be able to clear it and get that crystal. We saw all 5 items in pod. The boss and the big chest are the compass and map in some order. And so while our runners are doing dungeons that the others done, while they're following each other here, you should follow them. WeightyWords and VirtuaCat are putting on quite a show for us tonight, and they will be for a little while because all dungeons. Also, this Thieves Town, I had actually forgotten that this is also where we found the Red Cane. This Thieves Town is incredibly stacked. VirtuaCat getting all of those necessary items. Lady's going to do Homosaur before the back, it looks like. VirtuaCat slips off script some there, but gets blind down regardless and gets the crystal. That's it, matters if it's crystal or pendant. So VirtuaCat with a 4-3 lead on dungeons, or I guess 5-4 if you want to count Ackle 1, which you might as well, you have to do it. And WeightyWords heading into Helmasaur. Just some quick slashes to take down the last phase of Helmasaur there, and ties it back up on the dungeon count. That's the map, so it'll be the compass in the big chest. To answer chat, yeah, you walked by Tower of Hera, but you already got both items out of it. There's no real reason to do it before you do GT. You might as well just do it literally right before you do GT. After all, by then you'll, likely have the boots. Not guaranteed by any means, but high chance you will. VirtuaCat getting a little bit of the overworld checks here as well. I'll see exactly how he routes all of these. I'd be interested to see what WeightyWords chooses to do next. Has several full clearable dungeons at this point. Mire, ice, swamp. That looks like Dig Spot. Blanking suddenly. I don't remember if VirtuaCat actually checked this yet or not. Just some money. And this looks like Ice Palace. Interesting. A lot of runners have a preference between Ice and Swamp as to which they'll try to go mode even harder than the other. Depending on the layout, Mire can be pretty close to the same level of time save if you get to go mode. But Mire's really dependent on where that big key is. If it's a God Mire, it's a huge save. Okay, VirtuaCat actually routes it in here with the Stumpy check. That's pretty nice. Does take the money. Why not? And the WeightyWords setting up for the icebreaker glitch here. Information on this one. This is a recently allowed glitch by the Racing Council that I myself don't actually know how to do yet, but it basically involves using the cane to push yourself through that wall, and then you get to bypass a lot of the more obnoxious parts of Ice Palace, which many people would say is all of Ice Palace, is the more obnoxious parts. Hey, there's our Quake Medallion. That's one piece of our requirements. Opens up the possibility of Boots being on Laser Bridge or something. Oh, and there's a mail upgrade. I guess we can call that French vanilla. The red or the blue mail is in Ice Palace, and Whippy usually gets it. Yeah, the armor flat out eliminates hard, and the higher difficulties have any mail upgrades. VirtuaCat, meanwhile, heading into Swamp. More items here than Ice. But we know we'll need that Quake Medallion out of Ice at some point. And looks like our runners will be in the same dungeon together for the first time in a little while, actually. VirtuaCat a little ahead in this dungeon, but WeightyWords with the edge overall. Honestly, boots on ped is less mean than like boots in big chest of GT or something. Or on Laser Bridge with Ice Rod at like Landmo. Always a nice place to find the big key in Swamp, given that it's only used for opening one chest, although that chest just has the compass. VirtuaCat can go ahead and do left side with that compass known. There will be at least one item over here. Interesting to see if we see another of our relatively new glitches here out of WeightyWords. The diver down glitch. Again, I don't know how it works yet, but I've seen that one before and it looks kind of goofy. But the programming of Swamp Palace in general is kind of goofy. Okay, yeah, here we go. It's totally normal. Don't worry about that flooded key. Completely fine. Meanwhile, VirtuaCat is still going to get to these back chests first. I think that's our last bottle. And then another heart container. So far, nothing all that exciting in Swamp. There's still one item to go on the boss. Although, in fairness to Swamp, there just aren't that many exciting items left in the pull. Silvers or Ice Rod or Boots are kind of it in terms of things with immediate payoff. There's some fetch quest stuff as well. And Weighty gonna do another application of that glitch to get these chests. VirtuaCat having a little bit of trouble with lining up shots there, but gets Argus down. Let's see what this last item is. Okay, it's a fetch quest item and a safety. Probably the nicest of the fetch quest items. Let's see what VirtuaCat does next. Mire, Ice, finishing out Pod are all available. VirtuaCat knows that Pod does not have another item waiting, though, so I would expect to see Ice here. Yeah. So we'll get that Quake medallion. Presumably, I mean, assuming he doesn't skip that chest. WeightyWords going to turn in the Pyramid Fairy with Ice Palace and Skullwoods having been our 5-6 crystals for the day. And nice thing with the mirror and with Aga 1 dead, we can just take the short way. VirtuaCat going to need to be a little careful here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to powder an anti-fairy at some point. More fetch quests within the Pyramid Fairy. We did not need that book for desert access today, but it gives us 2 more items. And we could check the pedestal if we really wanted to, but given that one of our remaining items locks the pedestal anyway, it would only be boots that could be there. And VirtuaCat does powder the anti-fairy. Did see VirtuaCat actually practicing this particular glitch before the match as well, so hopefully we'll get it here. Seem to be doing okay with it in the practice. And gets it pretty cleanly there. For those maybe just joining us, this is an all-dungeon seed. Most of the settings are what experienced randomizer players would call boring, with a standard start and just normal item pool and everything. We are Ice Rod and Boots away from Go mode on the WeightyWords side. VirtuaCat also needs the Quake medallion in addition to that, but we'll get it now. And WeightyWords can go ahead and do Misery Mire. Another 2 items in here, and then things start getting more fun. This will unlock GT, which we know requires 6 crystals to enter, and Misery Mire will be WeightyWords' 6th crystal. Let's see just what the layout is here in Mire. Some good fire rod splash damage. Our first item in Mire is just a heart piece. All right. Let's see if VirtuaCat. Yeah, also going to Mire. I don't think VirtuaCat's been in Desert at all yet either, so we'll probably check that out. Yeah, because I think the Tempered Sword's actually here in Desert. That's right, it's Hookshot Cave, okay. No, my mind is slowly draining away from Randomizer. As Weighty tries to avoid cutscene chest. So the key just needs that second item. Okay, let's see what Vitreous has for us today. After a couple of dark rooms and then a lot of arrows or sword slashes. I feel like spooky actions getting neglected now is the most goofy glitch allowed in the league at the moment with the diver down glitch. I'm not talking about weirder for being allowed, more just it looks very, very strange. Just in appearance. It is remarkable how many glitches have been found over the last, about a year and a half now since Spooky Action got. And guessing Weighty will probably clear Hera before going into GT. Even without boots, it's the closest you're going to be. think at some point you'll have to come back up for TR, I guess. You could do it then. Opening up TR while there, I'm curious to see if WeightyWords would go in without the Ice Rod. You'd think that you just go for the GT play. Yeah, GT it is. Oh, gonna do an ether check maybe first. And yeah, probably Tower of Hera as well. More health. Definitely a fairly friendly seed in that regard. Mighty with another display of Herapot. Gets to the boss pretty quick. And should be able to take out Malorm a little faster than VirtuaCat's fight earlier. Thanks to that Tempered Sword. Goes down. It's just a couple spins. And, there's 27 locations in here where our Ice Rod or Boots could be, but they also could not be here. We also do need the big key, as is traditional, but we'll probably still keep looking. That is absurd. So we get the incredible hope room of small key, big key, and it doesn't really help. Maybe just going straight for Tower Room too. Also, those may be watching later, Twitch chat is currently having a discussion on glitches that is several levels above my level of knowledge. Tower Room has 20 rupees. Totally worth the wait. I believe the garbage prefill for 6 crystals leaves 9 real item slots for GT. I would have to go look again at the documentation of these things to be certain. But it is less garbage filled than it would be with 7 crystals required to get in. That's right. It was the shield that was in desert and the chest I was thinking of. And VirtuaCat does get that mirror shield, so can now do laser bridge without problems, which I'm sure VirtuaCat could have done with, skips or worst case Cana Burna or Cape. Red mail is not the red item we're looking for, but those are. So that's our access to desert, and we are now just on a true ice rod hunt because everywhere except Ped and Trinex himself is available for that ice rod 2B. Somebody said earlier that this was a very standard randomizer seed, and that certainly is part of it. And Weighty is going to continue searching GT for that ice rod. Hard to blame him. It is obnoxious to get back here once you leave. Honestly, I'm pretty sure Weighty would love it to be in GT Big Chest. That is going to be a relatively quick location. There are much worse places it could be. Like Laser Bridge. A little bit of trouble with Armos on ice here from WeightyWords, but gonna get it here. Let's see what's hiding back here. 10 arrows, 20 rupees, 5 rupees. Not exciting. And I believe we've got audience members rooting for it to be right here. Nope, just 3 bombs. And ditches out rather than going upstairs. Gonna do the front of Turtle Rock first, it looks like. That's interesting. I kind of like it. To answer chat, boots were in the Stalfos room in GT, in the top right chest. I mean, if Ice Rod is upstairs in GT, then that's kind of funny. But it would mean still making another trip. I kind of like this play just for playing the odds on not having to make another mountain climb. If it is here, there are more items in TR and Mimic Cave than are upstairs in GT. I think I called about 45 minutes ago or something that you could have through GT and then Ice Rod on Landmo. Or on right side of desert for that matter, I think. That's VirtuaCat getting that tempered out of Hookshot Cave. Probably also will not bother getting butter. No, gonna go for it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if your personal assessment is that it'll save you time to grab it between Trinex and then making phase 1 and 2 of Ganon cleaner, then I totally respect it. Every time somebody does Mimic Chest before the big chest in Turtle Rock, when they're one item from Go Mode chat, pitches up. I think VirtuaCat did. I'm not totally sure. Maybe not. Certainly did before reading the sign there, given that it opened. I guess I'm not actually sure if the requirement is 6 crystals, but you have, or if the requirement were like 4 crystals and you have 6, would the animation play with 4 or 6? Oh, and there's silvers within within Turtle Rock. For those on VOD later, chat has informed me that would play with 4 in those circumstances. So that would have been a tip that it was 6 without reading the sign. Ice Rod's on Laser Bridge. WeightyWords with the big brain play. So at about an hour and 41 minutes, WeightyWords here is in Go Mode. Just needs to finish up TR, kill Agatu, do Desert, and then go kill Ganon. see if VirtuaCat makes a similar play. I will not blame them at all if they don't. But it could be quite painful. But really, it's just boots locations that have been unlocked by this. So Weighty will be able to head straight for the climb. Already been in GT, cleared out the bottom. Upon not finding the ice rod, but being an ice rod away, did head over to Turtle Rock and found the ice rod on Laser Bridge, because of course. Also going to be completely loaded for Bear for Ganon with silvers and tempered red mail and, what is it, 16 hearts? We get to see some nice moves through the gauntlet here, I expect. Quick silvers kill there from WeightyWords on Landmo 2. Of course, Landmo 1 is still awaiting and is the real challenge. Silvers were in Turtle Rock. I think the roller room, if I remember right. So VirtuaCat will get those at some point along the run. And WeightyWords heading through GT here. Should be pretty quick from there. Even with having to make that divergence down to Desert, with the portal from killing Aga 1, it's pretty quick to get back from Link's house. As long as WeightyWords does not somehow forget that it's all dungeons, or even not 7 crystals to damage Ganon, and forget to do Desert before dropping down, in which case Ganon will call him a dingus. And WeightyWords onto the Aga 2 fight. Yeah, Cat is going upstairs. Hard to blame them for this play. It's honestly what I would do for sure. The move over to TR was pretty good on WeightyWords' part. free ride over to the pyramid, but can't quite go in yet. Still need to, go to Desert Palace. It's empowering Ganon. Still should be pretty quick here, and then I'm thinking it's going to be a fairly quick Ganon fight. So probably just a few minutes away for WeightyWords here. VirtuaCat heading up through the gauntlet. And we'll see if Land Mode 1 does any better against WeightyWords than Land Mode 2 did. No, it did not. I mean, I don't know why Ganon is putting these bosses out here for WeightyWords to make chumps of. Gonna be able to just save quick back to the pyramid, it looks like. Yep. Could have also done the portal from Link's house, but this probably is a little quicker, even with the somewhat lengthened save quick times. Yes. Make sure you're eating a lot of whole grains. Take nutritional advice from a randomized video game. That is some gorgeous fire bat dodging. And into phase 3. The 1+1. Silver Ganon's one weakness. Gets a double there. And there's the 4th shot. So that will be it for this race. Get your GGs in chat for WeightyWords. Winning with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, 55 seconds. VirtuaCat forfeits a few seconds later. And WeightyWords has had to pass on the interview for the night, but we are going to be joined by VirtuaCat.
You scared me. Hello. You were real loud.
GG, VirtuaCat. I'm sorry?
Oh, man, I'm sorry. You spooked me.
Okay. Didn't mean to. How you feeling today about that seed?
I thought I was going to win. Turns out WeightyWords is pretty good.
That is fair. He is very skilled at the game, but you put on a pretty good show yourself today.
Okay, like I felt well going into that seed. Like there was some stuff in it that like I thought that I was pulling off better than I probably should have been pulling off. Like I'm not good at that game, but I was able to pull off Icebreaker, and that was the like Icebreaker dream. I just looked up how to do that. Like it was a video from Koi that I was watching, and he did. He's a good guy, and he did a good video. So thank you, Koi. I learned how to do Icebreaker because of that.
Nice and clean run. I did see you practicing that a little bit before the match started, and certainly got it well during the race. So your routing was pretty similar to WeightyWords throughout. Were there any decision points where you thought about like doing something radically different?
I knew I would have to make a couple gambles against him. He's good, as we discussed priorly. So I went into pod without the hammer. But no, it was like pretty much like, hey, once you did Aga, you had like 6 dungeons open to you, and you just kind of went counterclockwise around the map. You went to Moth, to Blind, to Argus, to Ice, to back to Vitreous, which is not counterclockwise. That's around 7 p.m. there. And then you had 2 swords up in Hookshot Cave. That was pretty cool. I always like seeing that. Was this just a regular standard all dungeon seed? Was there like no other things that happened?
Sort of sure. Sort of is another thing, I guess.
Okay.
But no, yeah, it was fairly typical. Normal item pool as well.
I was ready to forfeit immediately if it was inverted. I'm bad. But no, it went well. I had to take a phone call like halfway through it, like when I was in Skull Woods. I wasn't counting dungeon items, so I went back and did the big chest. That was my undoing. I bet that's the reason why I lost.
I'm not sure if that was the total time difference, but sure. But yeah, no, it was pretty well done throughout. Honestly, I didn't even notice that error in Skull Woods at the time.
Yeah, like I feel confident with like routing decisions. I just need to practice, and I found out that we're getting a lot more time to practice now. I'm going to be on PTO for a couple weeks, which is nice, but I mean, yeah, I'm going to be taking some vacation time, just hanging out at home for a couple weeks, and I'll play some Zelda. I'm playing that Skyrim game. Have you ever played Skyrim? It's pretty good.
Once or twice, yeah. But yeah, next week are you going to be one of the ones running for next week for cross keys?
Man, I barely know what cross keys is. Is that like key sanity, but also entrance randomizer?
Yeah, it's Cross World Entrance Randomizer Key Sanity.
That sounds terrible. I'm going to do everything I can to not run that.
Well, I guess that'll be between you and your teammates, but it is a mode with a reputation. But yeah, it's slow descent into madness. This one ended up a little more normal than most mystery seeds, though.
Yeah, I watched I watched 2 of them last night. It was like inverted entrance and like swordless. It was like, oh, I hope I don't get that. And turns out Sasha bot was pretty good to me today, and we did all right.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Any other thoughts on the seed, or any other Thoughts about the league so far?
We haven't won yet, and I think that's pretty unfair. I think we need to win one eventually, and I hope that we can do it. The third strongest moles. That's an Earthbound reference.
I do know. I do love that team name.
It's because we were all trying to say that we were going to be the ones who would drag the team down, and it turns out we're all correct.
You're supposed to be trying to be the most average, though, and it's third of 5, so you'd have to be the second best there, right?
I don't know. I see a big old 0 in parentheses after our team name still, so who knows how this is going to go in cross keys and co-op, and I think those are the only other 2, aren't they?
It's the cross keys, the co-op, and then the spoiler pilot one.
Oh, okay.
Spoiler pilot is week 6. The co-op is week 7.
Okay. That's pretty rad. No, I'm gonna go back and play that Skyrim game now. It's pretty cool. There's like a thieves guild and everything. It's really neat. There's dragons in it too.
Well, have fun with that. The game's about 20 years newer than the one you were just playing. So, meanwhile, once again, give a follow to our runners tonight, VirtuaCat and WeightyWords, as well as to our tracker, Ike here. I've been Mercer. I've been bringing you commentary for this race. Don't follow me. I'm a terrible follow.
Mercer, were you doing solo comm?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's harder than anything else anybody else has done in this race. Give it up for Mercer, everybody! Clap, 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 clap.
And then, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But no, it's not harder than Icebreaker. I don't know how to do that one yet. Also, follow the ALTTPR League, as well as that 2 through 4, and then Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6 for all the tournament action, all the mystery seeds, and then all the key sanity, co-op, spoiler log stuff to come, as well as the playoffs. Looking forward to all of that. And otherwise, everybody have a great night. Enjoy your Skyrim or your Legends of Zelda.
Bye-bye.